So I wanted to go in and talk about vibration for a second, because there's all this stuff going on in the world, and there's these sort of revolutions happening, and they're calling them revolutions, but there's people, Egypt, Jordan, Libya, in the last month or so, 2 months, have been kind of going out into the street to do something. And I grew up sort of end of the 70s, well, end of the feminist movement, sort of beginning in the 70s, and into the 80s, and became very politically active in the Detroit area when I was a teenager and a young adult. And that the assumption was, or the thing that I was taught, particularly as sort of post-feminism, was that things are wrong. They're like things in the world, in humanity, and among men and women, among people of different ethnic backgrounds, the relationship between, sort of a Marxist consideration, like the relationship between worker and owner is imbalanced, and there's all these imbalances and injustices, and it really informed the way I made decisions. It informed the way that I sort of stepped out into the world with a kind of strength and a kind of conviction, and a deep love for the sort of oppressed, or for the downtrodden, or for the underdog. And I practiced this for a long time, and I'm not saying I stood in front of the mirror and practiced it. I'm saying because it informed so much of the way that I was thinking about things, it was a way of being that my nervous system had a lot of practice in being and got really good at. I began to notice in the world around me for injustice. I began to notice for inequity, and I began to see it everywhere. And this made me unhappy. This made me feel alone. This made me feel pissed off. This made me feel fucked with in general. It made it so that I was sort of acutely aware of what wasn't working. And as a result of having practiced that way of being for a long time, my energy, the general impact of being around me was that shit was fucked up. And I will say that this was necessary and inevitable for me, and I think for many of us, as a part of getting to where we're going. But it's just a part, and it's not where we stop. And I don't think one can come by a powerful conviction to really hold in the frequency that anything is possible, anything is possible, anything is possible, without really deeply embodying the frequency that everything's really fucked up, like fully, and really going through that on a very deep level, in a very personal way. But it's not it's not for us to stay there. It's not the end game. It's not the end point. Which brings me to the energy consideration. So physics, spirituality, a lot of things in the world, a lot of things that I've come across, and also my own experiences of meditating, and just trying to be open to really being aware of what's going on in the world around me, the world inside me, and sort of keeping my attention on learning, but not learning information, learning how to hold a really open, intuitive awareness of just everything as much as I can. I've come to a vague belief, and the belief that I've come to is that that everything is energy, and that the only real power that I have in doing anything to have impact on or participate in the world in a way that is truly magnificent is through an awareness of what I am broadcasting as my own frequency.
If you want, I'll speak the truth about the things that I would love to do to you. It's early in the morning, I'm on fire, so I'll be alive, I'll be alive. If you want, I can be cruel, I can pretend that